to the monkeys to men missing link claims within evolution, it was the famous fraud Piltdown Man, which actually got evolution taught within the public schools. This was a fraud that lasted roughly 40 years until just about everyone involved with it was dead. Imagine researchers' surprise when they finally had the opportunity to actually investigate the claimed one and only missing link that had the head of a human skeleton and tacked on the bottom the jawbone of an orangutan. You could actually go through entire lists of these that turned out to be hoaxes. The current claimed missing link for evolution is called Lucy. Original claims about Lucy were that if it had little feet, that they'd be little human feet. If it had hands, notice it's missing all these parts, there'd be little humanish hands. That if it had a complete skull, that we could tell that it was a humanish skull. And finally, that the pelvis bone, if it was complete and not broken, would show that this small monkey walked upright, which wouldn't matter even if it did, because you have monkeys today that walk upright. Nonetheless, we found many Lucy's at this point with their little hands, their little feet, their little heads, and their little pelvises. And this is how Lucy is commonly depicted at museum exhibits. Sort of looks a little like a mud-covered swamp thing coming forth from a late-night science flick, emerging forth to scare the kids as they walk through, doesn't it? Nonetheless, if we were to do a more realistic and critical recreation of the small African monkey Lucy, or technically an ape, using modern knowledge, and more specifically modern knowledge of the bone structures of these cute little creatures right here. If I follow the very long arms down to the little monkey hands, the little ape hands, they're knuckle walkers. They walk on their little knuckles to get around. Accordingly, the hip bones are actually designed for that knuckle walking. And coming down the little leggy on this cute little creature right here, Lucy is commonly depicted in museum displays as having human feet. That actually turns out to be just a pinch important. But nonetheless, the feet on apes or chimpanzees or monkeys, these creatures basically have 4 sets of hands, which allows the little ape or little monkey, take your pick, to run around in the forest and in the trees and to grip onto stuff and swing back and forth. Actually, the little feet down there turn out to be a rather large, shall we say, problem in the evolution storyline. I'll let you dig into that if you like. In short, what we've found here is the absolute and total evidence that a monkey died, or ape if you like, in Africa. Bottom line, though, one could argue that we've got plenty of bones that look like Chinese dragons, like these found in Dakota. There are exactly 0 mixtures of part human, part monkey. Now, there is certainly no shortage of drawings, and there are plenty of plastic Monkey Man museum displays. In layman's terms and in tangible reality, there are millions and millions and millions of these, and there are definitely millions and millions and millions of these, but nowhere on the whole planet Earth do there seem to actually be any of these. And it's not for lack of looking. And the truth is that you would need enormous pockets of evolving primates. There should literally be billions of missing links. A Planet of the Apes world with evidence so easy to find that kids should find these things on their scouting trips, no matter where they are in the world. Just like they find seashells, giant clams in the Andes, The trilobites we find fossilized in mountains, which look strangely similar to the whelks of different types of trilobite-like creatures that we find crawling around on the bottom of the ocean right now today. What's sort of funny to me is that if I were to look into the camera and tell you that the swamp thing here was real, that would be science. But if I were to criticize it, even just a little, or possibly suggest, I don't know, that breeding monkeys doesn't pump out people, well, that would be religious. It actually reminds me of a quote by Napoleon, who one time stated,